Hello everybody, this is Tim Barrow with Titan PM Solutions. Today we're going to be talking about Titan's integration with the Jira application. So we know that Jira is an application that a lot of companies are using right now and will want to continue to use to let their developers manage in that environment. Titan integration with Jira simply allows the overall project management side to integrate Jira into the process, integrate the details over not only for the project but for the future also, so that there's a living history of exactly what happens where. Titan uses a RESTful API in order to get information in and out of Jira, their standard API. This is really important for a couple of reasons. Jira is a very customizable tool, and companies spend a lot of time customizing it. So we'll take that customization and pull it into Titan and allow you to integrate in ways with Titan exactly how you need for your company. In addition to that, I think this is something that will be an area of growth for the company. In terms of adding new systems into Titan. We've got the base of what can be done with that RESTful API with many of the systems that companies use to manage work, whether that being test systems, whether that being service management, change requests, or just project management tasks. Those things can all be integrated into Titan, and we'll be looking for a roadmap in the future to do quite a bit more. In the meantime, let's take a look at what we can do with Jira. Okay, so let's get to it in showing off our Jira integration here. So what we've got on the screen right now is one of the projects that we've got together in Jira. So the project right now really only has a couple of issues in it. We take a look at these issues, we'll actually get to see that we've configured a number of custom fields into this project. Each project may have its own set of custom fields, so Titan will take care of all of that and make sure that all active projects are synced at all times with custom fields. And if we go into a requirement that this project these tasks are synced to, we can see these come out right here in tasks that are on an overall requirement. So this requirement is specifically a finance requirement for an interface, and in that interface we have multiple tasks. We have a task for the source system extract. We have a task that is a file sweeper for new files coming in, as well as now we can say, okay, well, we need a task out there for the SAP developer to create the input, bring the file into SAP. So how we would do that, we could create a task here in Jira. The task we could say is interface as a SAP import. We'll have the priority as medium. The key thing here, just to show a couple of items that we'll put in, is description, interface for, we'll put just the same text here just so that it can show up. And we'll also go ahead and put down the requirement that we want this to go under, and we will, it's going to go under the first version of this particular requirement. This is the first time we're creating the requirement, so it's version A, which you can see in this requirement itself, that this is version A. Oh, sorry, this is version A here. So if we create the issue here, it'll show up. We've created it here. Why don't we go ahead and say we've selected that for development. So it's sitting there for development. Now here's where the interface will get interesting. So from a project standpoint, we've got a project here, 5709, that we've said we're going to tie this project to an external project, and that external project is Jira. And the TS project is what we're in right now, TS board. So that's the project key that we're going to be using to link these two things together. So now that we've got the project in Titan and the project in Jira tied together with that information, we can see that we've got the two tasks here. So now we can go into SAP and actually execute some the actual load and see the load run itself. So we'll hard code that TS to let's pull the TS over. What this is going to do is going to do a couple of things. It's going to be looking at the configured mappings that we have in the system, and it's going to look at, hey, these are all of the custom fields or all of the fields in total that are coming over from the Jira issue. 90% of these are come out of the box and were not created custom, even though they are labeled, a number of them are labeled as custom fields. But some of them are custom. So you'll notice that we have some of these Titan fields that are listed out here that are specifically for what we have created in Titan. There's a job that goes over and gets all of these custom fields, and then you can go in and configure this table yourself to put the fields on the Titan task over to these tasks. So the fact that priority goes over to priority, assign to goes to assignee. Assignee is the word that's used in Jira. Assign to is what is on the task in Titan. The same thing, kind of across the board. Any of these things that are used in different places, you can actually configure that and be able to have your custom mappings as to what you want to see. The other table that is in there that is of importance is we do have a user table. It's really important that as users are noted, that we can actually call out these users and move back and forth between these users. So a user in Jira, for instance, my name in Jira, we've mapped right now to a different user in SAP. So that may be the case that you may have a name in Jira that says Tim Barrow, but in SAP it's Timothy Barrow. So you may map those as separate. Now, if they're actually the same, there's a job that regularly runs on the SAP side and will pull the users in. If they are exactly the same, if Tim Barrow is in SAP and Tim Barrow is in Jira, it's automatically going to see that and pull that in and map it here. So the majority of the mapping will be done automatically, but there are going to be times, again, maybe some name is configured differently in one place or the other. So you can go in and help manage that as you see it. So we can go ahead and just quickly run this job. You can run, it's set to run across any time. So you can say, I want to run it and grab all the data that's been changed since a specific date and time, or you can say, I want to run it and it keeps track, and therefore you can run it 4 or 5 times a day or more or less. It'll run and pick up all of the data that's changed in active projects since the last time you ran it. So why don't we go ahead and go in overwrite mode. We'll pull everything in. You can see from this project, it'll make the connection, and just like that, it'll bring those tasks over for specifically this project. And now, as you can see, after we have run this, let's refresh our requirement, and we can see we've got the 3 tasks in with the interface release out SAP import. So it's a pretty straightforward process once it's in and you have configured your fields where you want them to go. Users do need to be updated on a regular basis, but that's something that's pretty easy kind of a thing to update. The job can run daily, and updating users should be fine. And all of your active projects get updated at all times. A definite way to keep Jira and Titan in tight together. Thank you again for joining us today in this review of the Titan PM application. You can see our contact details on the screen. Feel free to reach out and ask us for more details about Titan and about the possibility of your organization joining us for our beta program. Thanks again.